Few probably noticed it, but buried away in my homepage on the World Wide Web, the page featured in the first programme of the current run of the net, there's a little toy robot. It's just there, hidden behind the keyboard. And I put it there because I think robots are fascinating. They've aroused anxiety and excitement in about equal measure since they got their name from the 1921 play R.U.R. by the Czech playwright Karel Čapek. If you click on the toy on my desk, you'll be taken to a page that shows that we are still very much in charge. Here you have direct access to an experiment that puts a robot under your control, enabling you to use it as a remote explorer that takes you to places, real places, not simulated ones, that would otherwise be impossible to reach. Television offers a window on the world. With this, you can climb through the window. Our inspiration for this experiment came from one of the most imaginative pages on the World Wide Web, the Mercury project at the University of Southern California. Here we read of the adventures of a prominent paleohydrologist called Dr. Eugene Taylor. He supposedly discovered mysterious irregularities on the surface of the Nevada Desert Nuclear Test Ground and tried to excavate them. It's a great story, but one to be taken with a largish pinch of salt. The experiment, however, was real enough. It allowed anyone who logged onto the internet to control a robot arm in the University of Southern California's computing lab, the arm being used to excavate a little sandpit containing mystery objects. The Mercury project finished last month, but has been followed up by what's called the Telegarden. Here you have a simple set of controls that allow you to move a robot arm suspended above a small garden. The diagram on the left shows the position of the arm, the picture on the right a snapshot of the garden beneath. You can then instruct the robot to cultivate this little patch of soil on the other side of the world. There are a growing number of projects designed to link robots to the internet. So, reflecting the net's philosophy of DIY and daring do, we thought we'd have a go at setting up a networked robot for ourselves, one that we could transport to a remote location and allow viewers with internet access to control. As they used to say in B-movies, it's crazy, but it might just work. To help us, we turned to a team of researchers at the University of Reading who set up what they call the Netro Lab. This is a robotics laboratory with a difference. The robots are connected to the World Wide Web, which means they can be controlled by anyone with internet access. Normally, it will be an authorised researcher, but for this experiment, it could be you. The robot we'll be using is this one. He's called Nero, which is short for Networkable Robot. Like most research machines of his type, his Meccano meets car wreck design is hardly pretty, but then it's brains we're after, not beauty. His main box contains a computer that takes instructions from the internet and turns them into appropriate actions, and sends data, in our case video and audio, back out again. The base has a set of wheels which move the main platform around, and at the top there's a camera mounted on a head which enables the camera to pan, tilt and zoom. And there's also a little microphone for picking up sound. All these functions are controlled through the main computer and controllable through the internet. So, phase one of our experiment is to connect Nero to a World Wide Web server, the master computer that internet users will be able to access. We also need an interface, something like this. On the screen, there's a window which shows what the robot's camera is currently seeing, a snapshot updated every few seconds. There is also a control panel which can be used to steer the robot around and get it to perform a few tricks. For example, I can get it to locate Gerard McKee, head of the Netrolab, meet its maker, you might say. Tell me, Gerard, what does the World Wide Web bring to robotics?
The World Wide Web means anyone can get access to robotic systems. It allows them to play with equipment, very advanced technology, which otherwise they couldn't afford and only dream about using. Think about how you could play a part, how you could be able to control the robotic system. You are able to participate. You're no longer sort of a passive observer of where robotics is going. It's no longer someone else's game, it's your game.
Tell me what this access can give us access to.
Give you access to a tremendous amount of resources, and those resources could be anywhere. They could be in the next room. Could be along the corridor somewhere. Could be in a building in another country. Could be right around the other side of the world.
Now that we've got the robots set up and connected to the network, we need a location for it to explore. Somewhere hostile, a place where humans would fear to tread. We originally thought of the erupting crater of a volcano, but the chaps at Netrolab weren't too happy with that. So we chose a location that's hostile in a different sense. The Chamber of Horrors at Madame Tussauds. This may not seem like a particularly inaccessible site, but the robot will enable us to explore it in a way no human can, after the public has left and the doors have been locked. Here, Nero can roam free, his only connection with the outside world, an umbilical wire carrying the video data and control signals. Networked robots have the potential to take us to places that we could never otherwise reach, sending back the data we need to get some sense of what it's like to be there. Telepresence, NASA calls it, presence at a distance. And it's space that promises to provide some of the most exciting applications of this technology. It's long been a dream of the robotics community to get a rover vehicle like the original lunar lander to Mars or Venus. What if you could dial up a World Wide Web page and control such a device? It's not as crazy as it sounds. A Mars mission carrying a human crew seems unlikely for reasons of cost. But if a robot went instead, what better way of securing the public sense of participation than by offering internet access to it?
We would like to be able to participate in the space exploration. For example, the 1996 mission to Mars by NASA. It can do our exploration for us. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to participate in that?
Space is for the distant future. For the present, we're stuck in a more earthly realm, in these tunnels of terror. After the programme's finished, those of you with internet access will find that if you touch the little toy robot on my home page, you too can enter the Chamber of Horrors at Madame Tussauds. Once logged on, you've got two options. You can either just watch what the robot is seeing, or you could join the queue to take control of it. When it's your turn, for a few precious moments, Nero and these dark, empty chambers will be all yours. Take care.